This is CES MMA.
All right, we're back at Twin River Casino for Undisputed 2. We're now in the middleweight division at the 185-pound weight limit, and right now you're taking a look at Cedric Goodrидge from Rahway, New Jersey. 3-4 with 2 submission wins on his record. Bit of a tough luck stretch of late, Scott. He's lost his last 3 bouts. Now you're talking about a fighter who was 5-0 as an amateur,
right,
and had started out strong in his pro career, but has since hit a bit of a wall. And so because of that, he has now actually sought out some tutelage from the Bomb Squad Academy as well. So he's trying to get some instruction and tutelage from different camps. We'll see how that plays out inside the cage tonight.
Yeah, when sometimes guys hit a skid like that, it can be for many reasons. It could be an injury, it could be fighting out of your weight class, or it could actually be home stuff. You know, you have to be in the right frame of mind. But if he's fighting out of the Bomb Squad now, he's got a real good support group and excellent instructors. And you can see Ryan Catoldi right there, you know, greasing him up. And Ryan's a great head coach up there at the Bomb Squad.
And again, that's Cedric Goodridge, nicknamed Chocolate Thunder, but he has lost 3 in a row. He fought October 6th in Providence on that big CES MMA pay-per-view card, knocked out by Brennan Ward in round number 1.
That's it. See, that's the level of competition.
Right.
I mean, Brendan Ward is a beast, and he wasn't afraid to step in and test himself against those guys. I love a guy who has a 500 record, but has fought just the top-of-the-line guys. He's in there just trying to go, who's the best guy out there, and where do I sit with them? You don't step in against Brendan Ward and think it's a coast.
And when you talk about fighting Brendan Ward with that wrestling experience, well, Goodridge has 13 years of competitive wrestling experience of his own.
Correct.
And was made short work of by Brendan Ward in that fight. So it goes to show you again the level of competition that he's faced in his career. And as we mentioned, he was 5-0 as an amateur. He sort of hit the brick wall, so to speak, at this early point in his career. He's facing somebody who's about to make his way to the cage, who is a tremendous veteran in this game. He, on the other hand, has won 3 consecutive bouts, and that was since his loss to Taj Patel here 2 years ago, and that is Brett OTERI, about to make his way to the cage. Brett from Dedham, Mass. And Scott, you know a lot about...
I do know Brett,
yep,
and he's walking to my favorite walk song so far, and you watch him. He's calm, he's relaxed. He's singing right now. This is not new to Brett OTERI. Brett's ready for tonight. I saw him before the fights, talked to him earlier in the evening, and he's squared away. 85, he fights at 170. 85, he feels very strong.
Yeah, Brett OTERI coming up at this weight class, and he's a big 185 too, Scott.
Yes,
a former professional bodybuilder, so he's obviously schooled on the nuances of cutting weight and bulking. So
absolutely,
you've seen it here tonight. He's going to be coming in as the bigger 185-pound fighter. Now, Brett OTERI, his last loss was to Taj Patel back in 2011, and that was for the CES MMA middleweight championship. He had just come back from his honeymoon during training.
Great point, Mike. I was going to bring that up if you didn't. You know, he trained for Chattel, and it was his honeymoon. He went out on the honeymoon, he came back. I think he fought Todd 5 days after he got back. I'm quite sure he had a drink and some cheesecake on his honeymoon. And, you know, I don't think he was working out per se. I'm sure he was exercising, and I'm being very gracious. But, you know, that's a tough way to walk in a fight with somebody like Todd. And that's also why Brett's ran off three fights and 3 wins afterwards.
One thing you pointed out, how relaxed Brett OTERI always is. Never overwhelmed by the moment or the magnitude of that moment.
Now, he's a veteran of the sport.
He had a big win in June on a reality fighting card. Now, his last fight in September was on the World Cup of MMA undercard, and he won via disqualification. His opponent kneed him while on the ground.
I actually was brought down to corner the Team China guys and work their cuts and corner them. And I was opposite Brett for that fight, and he was struck with an illegal knee. And he had to be actually taken out of the cage as a precaution to make sure he was okay. Brett lost it for probably 2-3 seconds. He probably lost consciousness.
And we'll see if that's any kind of factor. I doubt it at that point. It was back in September.
He's fought since, I believe.
Now we take a look at the Jim Beam Devil's Cut tail of the tape. Cedric Goodridge coming in at 3-4. He's lost his last 3, now training out of the Bomb Squad Academy. And Brett OTERI, the veteran, 11-3 from Dedham, Mass, training out of Connors MMA. Let's send it down to Bill Carpenter for the official introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Jim Beam Devil's Cut bout. We're scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds in the cage in the middleweight division. Your referee for this contest is Keith Peterson. Introducing first, to my left, fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at 184.5 pounds. Representing Team Bomb Squad, his professional record stands at 3 wins with 4 losses, 2 wins coming by submission. He comes to us tonight from Rahway, New Jersey. Please welcome SHEDRICK Chocolate Thunder Goodridge. His opponent across the cage to my right, fighting out of the blue corner. He tipped the scales at 185 pounds. Representing Connors Mixed Martial Arts, this MMA veteran has earned 11 professional victories, just 3 defeats, 6 wins coming by submission, 1 win coming by knockout victory. Fighting out of Dedham, Massachusetts, introducing Brett OTERI. 3 5-minute rounds, middleweights.
You know, Scott, I just want to continue on a point you made about SHEDRICK Goodridge and the level of competition. There's an obvious risk in fighting someone like Brett OTERI on a 3-fight losing streak, but the upside is tremendous if he wins this fight.
It's huge. It's huge. It validates how hard he's been training, not to mention he's right back in the mix with people, regardless of his record. Nice knee to a standing Brett.
Goodridge and OTERI coming out firing. Goodridge in the black trunks, OTERI in the white.
Wow, Goodridge with a nice head kick, inside leg kick. He's fighting out of a southpaw stance. Brett goes to shoot, looking to try to hit that double. SHEDRICK did a great job of sprawling.
Yeah, it was a great job there.
Now he's cross-facing, standing back up, and he's knees to the body. Brett's in a tough position. SHEDRICK's got an underhook to throw those knees into. And you can see how SHEDRICK's now trying to control Brett's waist so Brett can't throw the knees.
Back to the center of the cage, opening minute.
That
OTERI
knee cut him up. Yeah, that knee cut him up pretty good.
That right eye is bleeding profusely. We'll see how that plays out.
Side kick to a takedown attempt. I think that eye is definitely affecting Brett if he's shooting this early. Brett doesn't mind to stand up and throw punches. Brett gets underneath him. Here's the scoop. It's a big scoop up. You see, there's your slam down.
There's that slam by Brett OTERI.
And Brett's going to bring him right back up and do it again. Well, Brett's trying to pick the ankle and sit him back down. He did a great job with that. Now he has his back. He's got hooks in now with his back. He's got one hook slightly in.
Yep,
Brett
trying to get that left leg in.
By keeping one arm underneath SHEDRICK's arm, Brett will allow himself not to be shaken off. So if SHEDRICK leans forward, he won't slide off. Now, Brett wants to take his time and try to get that second hook in. Brett's lost her back now. Still maintaining one small hook standing.
Goodridge looking incredibly calm.
Nice reverse elbow to the midsection. That was to the liver. And he steps out.
Goodridge snaps out of it, and the blood continues to pour out of OTERI's eye. We'll see if Goodridge tries to attack it. And there he is going upstairs with the left and right.
Nice jab, counter jab by both men. Nice 1-2 by Goodridge. Straight left hand by Goodridge.
That left caught that bloody eye.
Yes, it did. We got to see if that blood's affecting Brett's vision, because the referee will have the doctor check it, and if that's the case, they can stop it if it affects his vision.
OTERI really either has to shoot in
nice
like
shot
this,
and
Scott,
a takedown, correct.
or in stand-up to try to work that jab and keep Goodridge at bay.
I think you're right. I think he'll be well served to try to keep this fight on the ground right now, at least until his corner can work that cut.
Halfway through round number 1, OTERI, Goodridge, this one's going to the canvas.
Goodridge is going to do the best he can to switch his hips and try to find a way to get back to at least his feet or work his way in that direction. And Brett's trying to work in a guillotine to pass. Brett was working an arm and guillotine. Now he's moved to side control. Goodridge has done a nice job as he goes for that pluck to try to roll him off.
OTERI trying to get that right foot in. There it is.
Nice job, and he has the second hook working his way in now as well.
Can't really see from this angle if he's got anything underneath.
He's trying to take Goodridge. Brett's trying to take Goodridge's right arm and pull it up, and maybe try to attack an armbar from there. He lost that hook again, and Goodridge is out the back door.
If anything, the cut hasn't really affected OTERI's plan of attack here, Scott. He's done a nice job adapting to it.
It looks to me like that cut might be under the eye. I can't really tell.
Which in turn would not affect his vision so much.
SHEDRICK doing a great job of passing to side control. Actually, he's got half guard now on the pass. Brett stopped him before he got to half.
It is hard to see where the blood's coming from. But for now, at least, it seems like it's stopped.
Now, Brett's sitting up, and he's trying to get an underhook on the far left-hand side and maybe try to work a guillotine arm and guillotine. Goodridge needs to stand up from right here. He doesn't want that neck being cranked, and that's exactly what Brett went for, was an arm-in guillotine, and now Brett will turn around on. Nice job by Cedric to step out of it.
Goodridge trying to gain the momentum in the closing seconds of round number 1.
Goodridge passing, trying to pass to half, and Brett's trying to throw his trap that arm and look for a triangle here. Now you could see Brett transition to an armbar if he doesn't have the triangle. Hammer fist off his back because he's isolated that left arm of Goodridge. There's your triangle, the ankle underneath the knee. Now what Brett's gonna do is try to pull down on his head and extend his hips. Oh, not enough time left in the round. Great job.
Simply ran out of time in round number 1. Good opening round of action. Tough one to call. Terry suffers that cut early from the knee, but had some nice takedowns.
Yeah.
He really did finish strong toward the end, so we'll see how that one plays out as we get into round number 2. Now we'll take a look at how the corner is going to work this cut, Scott.
I haven't seen them address it at all just yet.
Yeah, surprising not to go right at that when you only have 60 seconds to get in there and do something.
In actuality, you have 45. It takes about 5 seconds to get in.
Oh, there it is.
Now, who's working? The doctor's looking at the cut. The corner's not working it. I have a problem with this. Okay, I don't want to have the doctor get in my way. If I'm working this cut, I need the 45 seconds to work it.
Exactly.
The doctor can stop the round from starting. I can't get any extra time in there. Let me work my corner, let me work my guy, close that cut, and then you can step in and take a look. I can't stop the corner. Excuse me, I can't stop the clock as a corner man. Here you can see the referee trying to get him out of there, and it's just not happening.
Well, the doctor is insistent on getting in there and taking a look. Not sure how much work was actually done on the cut, if any at all.
As a cornerman, as a cutman, you have to tell the doctor, let me work the cut. The doctor says, let me look at it. I'm the doctor. You say, let me work it, then you can look at it. And the reason being is I can't stop the clock. The doctor can hold up the round from starting, stop it in the middle of the round with the referee's consent. Nice 1-2 by Cedric there.
And you see Goodridge immediately attacking that eye again. And we'll see if whatever went on in that corner plays a factor in round 2 here.
Well, Brett's definitely a lot slower this round. The kicks are a lot slower.
Yeah, it's a lot more deliberate on his part.
I think he expended a lot of energy trying to hit those takedowns. Both men are well over 185 pounds right now after weighing in. Nice reverse. Now you had 100%, took him right over with it. Goodridge really raining this down. I don't see this going much farther unless Brett can. Nice elbow by Goodridge. Brett really need. There it is. What Brett did was he grabbed the back of his head and pulled him down towards to break posture. And if you can keep your opponent's head on your chest, and that's exactly what Brett's doing now, maybe you can stall out, but you can't really throw any damaging punches.
Exactly.
If you can't posture out.
It's pretty much a stalemate in this position.
Well, you'd like to see Goodridge try to advance his position or work some short elbows from here.
If he gets that head out from under the arm, he can get back to his posture and start striking again.
And Brett did a great job of regaining full guard there. Much better position for him.
And now he's got the leg trapped around Goodridge's waist.
He's back to full guard, and it's closed, which means that he's not attacking anything, but he's definitely at a safer position at the moment. He might need to catch his breath.
Well, Goodridge gets back up, and they go the rights and lefts again.
The second he let go of his head, he postured up and started punching. I'd like to see Brett maybe throw some elbows off his back to create a little space. Goodridge is doing a great job of putting Brett OTERI into the cage, allowing him nowhere to move. And Brett's been here before. Brett will do the best he can to work himself off this cage and not get jammed into it.
Now, tough sledding in round number 2 here for Brett OTERI. He's got the cut, that's a slight factor, and now Goodridge trying to get some separation.
Brett's reaching in for that offside guillotine. He might have it if he can extend his hips.
This could be a big change in momentum, Scott.
Yeah, Brett's a very strong guy. He's got strong arms. It'll be very hard to break that.
He's a big 185, as we mentioned, and he's really got it locked in.
You can see here that Goodridge is trying desperately to get out. Now the referee's in deep. Are you tapping? Are you okay? He's trying to figure it out.
Now Goodridge, look at that left arm, Scott. He's trying to dig that in. I think OTERI just let it go. What happens here?
Brett OTERI was talking to the referee. Something happened that I'm not aware of.
That's the end of the fight. That's as much as we know right now. 2.5 into round number 2. And apparently,
the referee's calling for the doctor. Something must have transpired.
Either OTERI retired midway through the round or the referee simply stopped it.
No, I believe he was asked by OTERI. I believe OTERI said to the referee, I'm tapping or I'm stopping this. Something's going on that we don't know about.
We'll have to find out. It's uncertain what happened or what just transpired here at the round 2.
That knee to the eye caused the cut. You might have a slight concussion off that knee to the eye, and it just taking effect on Brett right now.
Well, sometimes that does take a while to kick in. We're going to take a look here, Scott, at the closing minutes, and you did see the referee get in with the flashlight.
Watch
for a second.
Brett's eyes. Brett let go of the guillotine. He let go of it and said, I'm tapping, I'm stopping.
Yeah, it's pretty clear. There weren't enough punches to stop it based on that alone, so clearly something was said in between.
To Brett's credit, he tried to finish him there with that choke, and he's like, maybe I can hold on and really drill this into him. Obviously, he wasn't able to finish it, and whatever was going on with Brett is that was the factor in him asking to stop the fight.
That would have been quite a heroic finish for Brett OTERI if he could have pulled that off. It kind of makes you think about the fight back in September where he got kneed inadvertently while on the ground. You wonder if there's any reoccurrence based on these 2 incidents here tonight, if maybe something popped back in his head.
Think about this more than anything else. We have reoccurring head injuries in all professional contact sports. You take a knee without pads to a forehead or an eye without pads, it's a ballistic type injury. So, you know, I don't fault Brett here. He got off the stool and he came out and tried to work in the second round.
The only difference this time is the knee was legal in that opening round.
Correct.
And it clearly, at least from what we see so far, had an impact on the outcome of the fight. We will find out more later. Now, thankfully, Brett OTERI sitting up with his back against that cage. They got the ice pack on the back of his neck. I clearly think, Scott, there's no question it's head related.
I've been there. You know, my fight with Doomsday, I hurt my arm. I tore that tricep before John took me down. The second I hit the ground, I couldn't move my arm. I knew what it was like. I'm not going to sit here and get hammered, you know, when I can't defend myself.
We're going to take a look at another angle, Scott, and perhaps Brett OTERI loses consciousness here.
His eyes roll back in his head. You know what? Great point. What ends up happening now is he's squeezing so hard on that choke. He's holding his breath. He's squeezing, and he's trying to finish that choke off. And he just was ready. His eyes rolled in his head. I believe Brett has a concussion.
Well, if in fact there was no verbal tap out, credit the referee for noticing that and stopping it when he did, if in fact that was the case. In any event, it is a win for SHEDRICK GOODRIDGE. We're going to send it down to Bill Carpenter for the particulars.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official time is 2 minutes, 42 seconds of round number 2. Your winner on a verbal submission, SHEDRICK Chocolate Thunder Goodridge.